Hey, Marianne and Gal here. Welcome to the Coffee Talkie Show, the podcast for women living abroad. And today we have a special guest with us, Eve. Together we will talk about your wardrobe and styling, but from a different angle, a minimalistic one, and with a touch of sustainability. But first, let us introduce you to our guest.
Yvonne Evelyn, aka Eve, originally from Indonesia and currently residing in a lovely suburb close to Munich, Germany, is a style coach for female entrepreneurs and professionals, focusing on sustainability, ethical fashion, and minimalism. After being in the fashion industry for 17 years, Eve aimed to help you look good and feel good as the best version of you in the most sustainable way possible. She believes that women are all about making a change, that we are here to lead the way to a kinder world by helping shape a better generation.
So we invite you to grab your coffee and notebook and give a big loving welcome to Eve.
Hi, Eve. It's so nice having you here with us today on our podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's really nice to see you too again. Well, the last time was just one, but now I got to see two, so it's great.
That's amazing. So I want to go straight in. Can you share your personal experience as an expat?
I thought about this, but I think I will just, there are a couple, but I think I will just share one, which I still could remember because it was such a, like a culture shock for me. The first time when I came to Germany, it was 2012, and I'm an Indonesian. So, Indonesian is very laid back, borderline lazy, depends on the perspective that you see. um, but, public transport in Indonesia is very different than the one in Germany. So I was on a bus going home, and the bus was late. This is like the simplest, the purest things that I remember. Oh, German are really different. And people start complaining because we were late like 5 minutes, or I think maybe 6. And they really did it in announcements, like we're going to be late for 6 minutes. That was something very new in Indonesia, as an Indonesian, I mean. And also people started to get so restless, like, oh my God, we're late now. And people starting to call either their friends or work, or I don't remember anymore. But I got to sit there thinking like, okay, in Indonesia, we really need to wait until the bus is full before we could go. And that is probably, I don't know, it would take between 30 minutes to an hour. So that was like my first real German experience in public transport that I say like, wow, is this country good for my mental health? I'll see it in a couple of years.
It's a great way to show some culture differences and to hear some personal experience. And thank you for sharing this. But you've been in Germany for so long now, so I guess you adjusted to the new culture.
Yes. I think I am more German probably now than an Indonesian, which I tend to always remind myself then that, I'm an Indonesian. So, but yeah, of course, after you live in a country for such a long time, you picked, the new mindset, new level of thinking, new culture, new everything, I suppose. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, how did your move abroad and your experience abroad influenced your perspective on fashion and styling?
Okay, so live in Germany has been a significant influence on my new direction right now. So, like focusing more on sustainability, on ethical fashion, minimalism. And people here, I feel like, are more self aware and more engaged when it comes to or regarding environmental issues. And over the years, of course, as I said before, I picked new way of thinking, new mindset, new beliefs, and it's mentally raised my awareness. So I think when it comes to fashion, that my focus right now, probably we will talk or we'll touch about that a little bit later, but my styling business is really focusing more on sustainability and ethical fashion and minimalism. One really funny little thing that I realized though, when it comes to styling per se, is that I really try to, you know, how do you call it? Like really on a certain occasion show that I'm an Indonesian. So I love to wear Indonesian traditional clothes during family weddings or like family occasions. And because Germans love to wear black all the time when it's winter. And I was like, I don't need this. I need some color in my life. So, that is just like a little bit of like fun, trivial things that I observed when I live in, since I live in Germany. I mean, yeah.
So you still bring your own, approach from Indonesia. I love colors, but do you feel you're influenced by the German culture and the German ways of? You mentioned they are more reserved, maybe influence your minimalism a little bit.
The minimalism per se, not so much. I think it's not really so much of an influence for me because I my background is fashion. I have been in fashion for so many years. It's 18 years ongoing now. So I know exactly what I like and what I don't like, what suits me, what doesn't suit me. And Germany has Oktoberfest, and they always use this Dinder. Yeah, I also have one of those that I worn once or twice. I forgot. I didn't really feel that much of I don't know. I think I wore it because I want to respect the culture, and it's just fun with friends going to Oktoberfest. But when it comes to like the influence in styling per se, for me personally, I it is very minimum. I don't really feel that much influence yet. Maybe because yeah, like I told you, I already know like what suits me.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. You already know who you are and you have a very clear fashion style and you've been in the industry for so long. So I'm not surprised that the different country didn't influence totally your fashion style. But I guess there were some climate changes that you needed to adapt to.
Yes, of course. In that sense, definitely yes, because I moved from a tropical country where it's just either raining or sunshine. Of course. There are a couple of things that I have to adjust in a couple of collections of my, for example, sweater or pullover, because in Indonesia, I didn't have a pullover. It was too hot to wear a pullover. But here I have a pullover for summer. I have a pullover for like the zwischen is German word, like the between times, between spring and summer or between fall to winter. So, depends on the degrees. So I have now a couple of those in my wardrobe, yes. But that's just pretty much about it.
Yeah, because you said you're focused on minimalism, how would you define minimalist styling? And maybe like, what are some of the key principles or guidelines that are related to this?
So if we want to talk about minimalist styling, ladies, from the aesthetic point of view, then I think we pretty much know what it is. It has been really trendy over the past years, just like monochrome with minimalist accessories and everything. That if we want to talk about the aesthetic per se, for me, minimalism is more of a mindset than the aesthetic or the items per se. So I think, it's there's a lot of minimalism is like it's not. I'm not saying a religion, but an idea, and people look at an idea and implement ideas different ways. Yes. And there are people who are so hardcore minimalism that they only live off their backpacks. They only have two pair of socks, if not one, or probably just 10, less than 10 pieces of clothing. And they don't shave, and they shave their head bald because they don't want to use shampoo. I've interacted with a couple in some of minimalism groups that I joined, but I really believe that when it comes to minimalism, minimalist styling, minimalist wardrobe, you need to think about the contentment piece, which probably we will touch later on a little bit deeper, instead of the items per se. So it's more like how we are content about what we have, and how we know that what we have is enough. So the contentment and then the enoughness is the core of what I teach my clients, basically when they started asking about more conscious living, minimalist wardrobe, conscious wardrobe, minimalist fashion. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Like you said, there is a trendy part of it. Like people talk about minimalism. There is like in the fashion and styling and housing and all that, like people go one color, cleaner, things like that. But you're talking about something different. And like, can you give me a specific example, like of one thing that is showing like a minimalist wardrobe, for example?
Well, the fact that for the past 10 years, I only have one winter jacket. Um, the thing for me is that, you know, you need to be very clear about your style personality and being very brutally honest. This is our audience probably going to hear about this more than once that I mentioned this, and being brutally honest about our lifestyle. So just the same like my two winter boots, I only had one black, one brown for 5 years. I also only have one winter jacket, just that one winter jacket that I wear throughout winter because I feel that I don't need more winter jacket. That one winter jacket was enough to cater my lifestyle, you know. It's blue, it's long, it has like the cap on it, it's protecting me, so it keeps me warm. So I just need one. I don't have to have two or three, simply because it was enough for me to have one. So when we switch our focus, when we talk about minimalism, from the perspective of how many items to what is enough, the question is no longer about, does three winter jackets a minimalist? The question would be, do three winter jackets enough, or or does one would do? So it's always go back to our more intrinsic and honest value. So it's no longer about what people would think. Oh, that's minimalist. That's not minimalist. Who says it's minimalist? Marie Kondo says it's minimalist. um, but really go back to who you are as a person, what kind of lifestyle you led. So how many pieces of these certain items you actually wear throughout the season, for example. So it's always going back to, like yourself and the intrinsic value, questions, motivations that you have for certain items. Yes. And I think that is much, much, way more sustainable in the long run, because I experienced the first thing when I was really into minimalism in 2015, and I purged 80% of my wardrobe content only to just fill it up maybe 6 7 months later, so full. Still my wardrobe was not cohesive. Still I like bought things that I didn't wear, and I wasn't really happy wearing those. And my credit card bill was off the roof. And I was still not like in a way that I thought I was a minimalist. So, yeah, change the focus from the number of items to the mindset. Um, and we will definitely see things in a different light.
Oh, I love that because it's not about the numbers. It's about what you think about it and how you approach it. And it brings me directly to our next question. And it's women moving to a new country. They face a lot of changes. A lot of time they don't know how to dress, according to the new place. They buy a lot of stuff. They bring with them things that they can't really wear anymore, that are not suitable for the new weather, the new lifestyle. And it's all but minimalistic, I think, at the beginning. But maybe from your experience, from your personal experience, or maybe from other clients' experience, what challenges do you see when moving abroad regarding to clothes, styling?
Well, yeah, I guess what happened to me was, of course, the weather plays a very important part, because I was very, very shocked and I thought I had to get, so many things like winter jacket. I got to have what they call the thermostrumpfe, which, like, the leggings or stockings that's keeping you warm. I have to have different kind of pullovers. I have to, so weather was definitely one of the challenges that I faced. And what happened is, of course, the longer you live in that country, me in this case Germany, the more adapt I am to, what should I wear on a certain degrees of weather, and whether all these items that I have accumulated in the past because I thought I needed, does it really cater? Do I have place for it in my wardrobe? So it will happens gradually. But the first challenge definitely was the weather. And the second challenge, I think that I didn't really experience it that much, but I know that a couple of friends, and the number one, I think I experienced it as well. The price differences when it comes to, investing in a new clothing, because, I moved to Germany coming from Indonesia, where garments are pretty much low priced. So in Germany it was so much more expensive in my head at that time, because I didn't know any better and I was new. So that's also was keeping me in investing in more versatile pieces that I know that, okay, this is great quality and I'm going to wear this like over the years and I'm still going to love this. So that is also one of the challenge that I experience, and a couple of clients of mine and friends experience. But again, when you already live for so long and then you know that you want to have a wardrobe that works, eventually it will come to you that, okay, I definitely need to invest in a more quality pieces, especially if in Indonesia I had like a walk-in closet, so it was huge. And in Germany, I got 1.5 meter square wardrobe where I have to put everything in it, including my accessories, my bags, scarves, belts, you name it. So yeah, and but I think also like the cultural dressing was mentioned by one of my friends. But this is also, like the more you live in the country, the more you know like how to dress appropriately, how to dress, as you are, but still and the norm if you are not adventurous enough, for example. So I think those three came to mind right now.
I can totally relate with the cultural thing. The weather, definitely, we're still figuring out. We still don't have a proper coat. It's been 3 years that we're in France. Every single winter, we are like, well, apparently it's winter. We don't have the clothes for that. Hey, it's summer. We don't have the clothes for that either. We're still trying to figure it out. We're clothes has been a struggle. But like you talk about cultural thing, and I think it's super interesting because as you were talking, I really remembered when I moved from the UK to Israel. So I didn't move with a lot of things back then, way less than what I did when I came back now. And I had all those dresses that I loved in that I just loved my dresses like that I used to go out with. And I remember packing all of them being like, hey, I'm young, I'm gonna go out. Those dresses are amazing. I loved wearing them in London. And I just arrived to Israel and I looked at them and I was like, I have nowhere to go with those dresses. Like literally nowhere. Even a wedding, I'm gonna be way overdressed with those dresses. Like dresses that I used to go out just for clubbing, like would be like crazy. So I put them in a box, and a couple of years later, I sold them because I was like, there is no point of me keeping those dresses anymore. They, culturally, they don't fit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I hear so many women arriving to France, for example, thinking they need to dress in a certain way. Like they have this stereotype of how French women
Correct.
dress, like to wear only black and high heels, stiletto heels, and that's like, come on, nobody wears this. Like women in Paris, they wear sneakers and jeans and cardigans and the jacket, and that's it. Like you don't need to be dressed as a stereotype that you think that's a cultural thing. I need to wear mini skirts, and it's not about that, but it's about fitting in and understanding what's going on around you.
And also what's actually comfortable for you, and that that speaks you. Like, what do you want to be perceived in the world? Do you want to be like one of those French girls, or do you want to be like but it's especially the French. They have like this French chic. Like really, they're effortless. They're not really trying that much, and it's on the fashion world. It's common, yes. But it's really interesting that you bring that point. Actually, I think many women needs to hear that, because there is this one funny Instagram girl that I think I followed. She is a French woman, and she's like, what they say in the magazines, like, or what they say in one blog, that French dress like this, but instead she's doing it different way. I have to look it up what it is, because it's so realistic and I could really relate to it. Like, it takes away the burden of we going to Paris and then we want to be chic. It's just, let's just be who we are.
Absolutely. I read a post a couple of months ago of an American who is coming to France and said, I don't think I have clothes that are suitable for Paris. And all the comments were like, girl, wear what you want to wear. There's no fashion police here.
Yeah.
It's a real struggle to try and fit in, even with your clothes.
It is definitely. I mean, it's different in every country, isn't it? I mean, in Germany, they're not really that much of something very significant, like in the Middle East, for example, that I heard as well and I read. But here is everybody is quite, as you say, reserved. In winter, I wear black. Don't get too close to me. You're too friendly. You're too friendly. Go away. Kidding aside.
And I guess that having, a minimalistic wardrobe can actually help women to integrate and to sort all this challenge of styling abroad. What do you think?
It is. Yeah, definitely. I mean, even if you think about minimalism, and focusing on it, on the items, and want to learn on how to focus on the mindset, you definitely have less, like you moved from one country to the new country, from your country to the new country, with less items that you bring. And I think one of the really fun point that sometimes we forget to, I think because our brain just works that way, is that in a new country, we get to reevaluate and upgrade our wardrobe. Depends on our new lifestyle, maybe a new job and maybe a new climate. And this is a very exciting part. And maybe, your new country is really going to, I don't know, birth it something in you that you never know existed. Maybe, for example, in Indonesia or in other Southeast Asian countries, 90% of the countries, except in the, well, yes, like with a certain religion type. And so you have to dress the way, like, appropriately. And then when you move to Europe, you get to express yourself a little bit. And there is this side of self-expression that probably just come out once you move to a new country, and then you can definitely challenge those. And that is what fashion and styling all about eventually, right? At the end, that we got to express ourselves. Like, this is why I love fashion and styling so much, because of the expression part of it.
Yeah, one of our clients at some point shared with us that she literally has like only one type of t-shirts and tops and one type of like pants, and it makes her day-to-day choice. She said like, I don't want to waste my time choosing what I wear in the morning, so it's like really easy for her. And I remember like being, I'm not sure it will fit me. Like, I love changing. I love having like adapting my clothes to my mood, but I can see how it can make life easier.
Yes, it does at one point. I think there are really women that got super overwhelmed dressing up in the morning, especially if you have so many stuff, especially if your wardrobe is not cohesive, especially if you don't know your personal style. So everything in your wardrobe is, a mixed match of different style, or simply they just don't like to dress up and they just, go with their uniform staple. But there is something that I really teach my clients that would save you. I do it. I'm doing it as well. I've been doing it for some time now. It's called a weekly outfit prep. So what you can do, I think it saved me tons of times, because especially if your wardrobe is not as cohesive as you want them to be, especially if you still, like figuring out your personal style, like the tendency where you want to go. So all you have to do is, I know it sounds like, ugh, what am I going to do that on the weekend? But trust me, you just put on the music you like, get a glass of wine or whatever drinks of your choice. You can also get water, but bleh. Um, and just go to your wardrobe and pick 5 to 6 outfits for the next week. If you're adventurous enough, you can also look at the weather forecast. Like, is it going to rain? So you might want to put like a cardigans on the staple, or is it going to probably super hot? So you might want to put like a summer dress on the staple. But just, it's kind of like a capsule wardrobe, but for like a weekly thing. So you just put it on a different segment inside my 1.5 square meters wardrobe. I have that segment where I put like 5 to 6 outfits for the next week. So, some clients love it, some clients hate it. But yeah, especially, like you say that you love to dress depends on your mood, right? And it's really working if like what you wanted to wear. But most case than others, people got really overwhelmed because, okay, my mood is right now, for example, I want to pick whatever. You stand up in front of your wardrobe, you couldn't find anything, or maybe you find something and then, hey, it doesn't look really nice, and then you change again, and then voila, you're like 30 minutes late or something like that. So that is just like one thing, like one hack that I teach my clients that mostly work for them, especially like in the urgent, I don't know what to wear basis. So you just grab something and then you feel good about it.
Yeah, I can see how it can save a lot of time and frustration as someone who cries sometimes in the morning because I don't know what to wear, and my daughter is exactly the same. So, yeah, I can see how it can save a lot of frustration. Thanks for the tip.
Yes, you're welcome. It is not for the adventurous, I give you that. Like, but that's the beauty of it, right?
I actually love it.
It works for some.
I know it will fit your needs. I will,
Probably.
no, not like, I no, it's not gonna work for me. But you recently made a shift in what you do a little bit. And why did you decide to focus more on sustainability? And what does it look like in your offers and what you're doing right now?
Yeah, so we talk about that a little bit already. Like, I mentioned it a little bit. um Long story short, I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to support companies that just not kind to nature and people. it has been a long process, like it's been, I think I wanted to start this already like in 2014 or something. So it's been a long process for me until right now I feel like, yes, I'm ready for it. But I think it's much more aligned with what I believe because I've been, as I said, in fashion for so many years and I've worked in a lot of fast fashion brands. And I love those places where I work. But I started to develop a love hate relationship with fashion. Um, and for so many years, I didn't know what to do. And I used to run a blog, and then I thought, oh, but I am promoting fast fashion, but then it's not kind to humans, to people, to the workers, and to nature. It's kind of like not aligned. But at that one point, all of the ethical fashion, they are just not so to my liking. I just have to, like be honest about this because I thought, well, actually, no, I also want to, if I write a blog post about maybe mix match of an outfit for whatever, I also want to love the outfits, right? I cannot just drag a picture from like an ethical fashion brand. It's like, ugh, I'm doing this now. I'm giving this to the world. You know what I mean? Like, so I really want to be true to myself and like what I love and what I don't like. But eventually, of course, also living in Germany kind of nudged me more and more into this, and being inside a family where, um, you know, uh, they're really having a clear principle when it comes to, reduce waste and living more sustainably and reduce plastic, buying second hands for the children, for example. Or investing in items that's just long lasting, for example. So I got to pick that as well. And I just say, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. And I want to focus more on ethical fashion, simply of principles and how it translate into my offer. Actually, my offer has always been holistic styling approach because of the minimalism belief that I have. Um, but the simplest form, if a client come to me and say like, okay, I have a style rod, I need new pieces of clothing, I'm not going to give them a shoppable board with fast fashion items anymore. So I really am going to try my best to look for companies that really produce great material, great produce, great products, clothing, and responsibly as well. So yeah, I think I believe I'm not here to just help people, um, making them feel cute and clean up their wardrobe. And I don't really believe that, like my clients or the women who comes to me also just, okay, I just want to be cute for Instagram likes. I really believe that we women, we can help shaping a better generation, and that we can make a change. Basically, everyone can do so. And so I want to take part in it. I want to feel like I don't have children. So the legacy that I want to live is like through these women who learn my framework, and then they can teach other women that they know, they can teach their daughters can teach their daughters. That's kind of like the bigger picture why I decided to no more fast fashion, even though I feel so like, because I have a couple of fast fashion brands that I love, and I was like, I cannot buy them now anymore. Just being honest, I'm human, it's just,
I love that. I love that you're so honest right now and telling, yeah, I do still love some of those items, but I'm true to myself. And on the other hand, I won't gonna share, some ugly items just because they're more ethical if I don't feel good with them and feel comfortable wearing them. And I really believe that it's by being honest and really ourselves and true to ourselves. That's the way to change the world and make it a better one.
amen, sister. That's how we go. Yes.
But it sometimes, it's hard. You make a decision. Yeah, I want to go with sustainable fashion, with more ethical products. Sometimes it's less accessible. Sometimes it's not really your style, your taste. It's sometimes more expensive. It's, you can't get it everywhere. It's much easier to go and, enter a simple shop and just buy a t-shirt or
Yeah, yeah, I get that. And the price point is also one of the things that my clients or, my audience mention to me. And I feel that it's really completely humane about admitting that, okay, you know what, this is not my priority right now, because I have child support, I have child tuition to pay, I still want to, I don't know, maybe eat nice once in a while. And so it's completely it's nothing wrong with just saying that, okay, you know what I can afford right now is just fast fashion. And I don't want to, a client told me, like, you want me to buy secondhand, girl, you know how ugly those are.
I'm with you on that. I don't understand secondhand fashion. Like, I don't understand those stores. I understand sustainability and I'm all for it. And I'm doing my part in whatever thing I can. But those stores, guy, no. She's taking me to them. She's like, look how pretty it is. I'm like, yeah, not for me. Not for me.
Yeah, I completely get it. I completely get it. Also, I think, the term sustainability also means that you take care of whatever you have right now to the best of your abilities. It doesn't mean that, okay, now I'm going to be more sustainable. Okay, whatever I have from fast fashion inside my wardrobe, I'm going to give it away. I'm going to sell them. I'm going to donate them, whatever. And then I'm going to start buying from ethical fashion brands. It's also not like that, again, like minimalism, sustainability is still, it's there is no, but I believe that, when you take care of your items, when you take care of your clothes, I still have a lot of fast fashion clothing in my wardrobe. Well, not a lot, a couple, but I'm not going to throw them away simply because I still love them and they're still, they're made from really nice material, as nice as it could be. I have them already for, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 years, and they still suit me and I still love them. So I'm not going to replace them. And I'm just going to take care of them until maybe they cannot be repaired anymore. And then voila, there you go. So yeah. But about the secondhand thing, yeah, there are a couple of really nice shop with secondhand items. Just saying.
I'm with you on this. I have a couple of, secondhand items that I love and they
Yeah.
last like for years and they're really good quality. And it's not a t-shirt that someone wore for 10 years and now you get this. It's not about that.
I agree.
And I think it's getting more and more, trendy to do that. I see this with children clothes as well because they wear it for like 3 months and then it's too small. So in France, at least, it's very popular. Um, those secondhand, and there are really nice secondhands. It's clean, it smells good. It's like it's
She's trying to justify her options, her choice now.
My approach to sustainability is that you need to find what works for you. Like, you need to look what's available. There are many things and you can go on the spectrum on different ways. Do something. I'm all for that. So for example, for me, one of the things I'll do is that I don't believe in buying just to buy. Like, I will, the same way you talked about, I have the things in my wardrobe that are working for me. Whenever my pair of jeans will rip apart or be completely like it's done, then I will get rid of those and then I'll get another pair. But I don't need 20 pairs of jeans in my closet. So it's about deciding for yourself your contribution to this ecosystem and understand that every decision that you make has repercussions on the ecosystem of our world.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree. I agree with that. I think, and to be able to say that, okay, I'm just going to go maybe buy organic products, I'm just going to only wear organic cosmetics, I'm also just going to, just buy ethical fashion brands. There is a process to that, it's not going to be so sustainable when you're just doing it because it's kind of trendy at the moment, just like minimalism. But first, you couldn't even afford it, for example, and second, you don't even really believe in it. Why do I even have to pay $100 more for these jeans where I can have it for like $50 in somewhere else, so it's a process that I believe that everyone must go through. And at the end of the tunnel, if you decided to do it or not, this is completely up to you. As long as, like, okay, I live to the best of my abilities, I live to the best of, like, my contribution to the world, I contribute a different way. So I think it's really still about being honest with yourself and how you live and how it's aligned with your values. Yes.
That's true. I really like it. So tell us a little bit more about what you do, about Style Coach by Eve, how women can reach out to you.
Oh, I'm on Instagram at Yvonne Evelyn. My website I'm currently revamping at the moment. So yeah, definitely shoot me there, or I'm also on Facebook. I love connecting with like-minded women, so definitely reach out there.
Do you offer like mostly one-on-one sessions? How does it work? Do you work online with women only from Germany?
No, I only have one German client so far, believe it or not. Like my clients came from all over. They're in New Zealand, Australia, um what's this again? Ireland of English? Ireland, I think. There's one in the UK. There's a couple in the US. So I offer mostly right now is one on one. So I offer a style coaching program. So what differs with personal stylists is that we just don't touch the appearance, but we go a little bit deeper into any underlying issue. So it's kind of like combining style and life coaching together. So this is what I currently offer, and it takes 3 months, like 12 weeks. I have a digital course, and I am planning to do another digital course, but I I think until the end of the year, I'm going to focus really on one-on-one, and I also have something. It's like a big program, like a big package, but I also, if you just need, let's just say, a wardrobe cleans or something like that, I could also cater to that, because that is like the most overwhelming. Like, believe it or not, I did my spring cleaning 2 days ago, and I was like, I wish I have somebody to do this with. And that was not really so many items. I was done in like 3 hours, but it's like, to have a girlfriend to do it together would be so nice. you know yeah, and yeah, that's what is currently on offer at the moment. And June is a special month for Style Coach by Eve, because it is it's mom's birthday. So my mom passed away in 2019, but she was basically the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. So in June, I usually cater to, I do anything that I could, taking pro bono clients.
That's amazing. And we will make sure to put all the links to your new website and to your Instagram and Facebook so that people can find you and reach out to you and get your services. Because it's definitely, we all need this girlfriend that helps us to organize the wardrobe, but also like to make sure that I love that you combine styling and coaching, because how we dress has a lot to do with how we feel and what is going on the inside. So I think it's an amazing thing.
Definitely, yes. You're right there. Completely. Absolutely. And there's just, I think, like, just one thing. Like, when people come with a messy wardrobe and they think, when your wardrobe is messy, when you were a kid, like your mom will tell you, just okay, just clean it up, right? But as we turn into adults and we find our wardrobe is messy and we're cleaning it up, and then it's messy again, and it's messy again. It's just not about a factor of why is it messy in the first place. There's a lot of different reasons why it's messy. Maybe you don't know your personal style. Maybe you have like an impulse buying problem. Maybe you have a sunk cost fallacy mindset. Maybe you really refuse to let go of a couple of items inside your wardrobe because of some attachment or some point. And there is like a lot of different way how to tackle those. So it's really not always about, you know, feeling good. Of course, it's about feeling good, but it's not always about like one size fits all kind of thing. It's always different with different clients that I experienced so far. Yes. So the coaching part of it, or life coaching part of it, including confidence coaching, how to rewire our mindset about our bodies, like body positivity. I think it's really important to make sure that whatever that we learn, not only, it's not only showing from the outside, but it's also giving us contentment on the inside. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
I just love this. And it will take me straight to our very last question that we ask all of our guests on this podcast. And it's, what does a smooth and positive move abroad means to you?
That is really a wonderful question. Actually, I'm trying to think about all of the things that I should have done 10 years ago when I moved to Germany. But I think if I could sum it up to one point, that would be to really taking a very great care of myself. Not just, having a bath, having a massage. That's not what I mean, but more to the preparation before we move. Like really research the country that you move into, and really staying true to who you are as a person. If you love, for example, working out, where are you going to live? Just to make sure that you get still have this habit and making you happy, taking a great care of yourself. If you live in a way that, okay, it will take you an hour to go to the gym and you hate home workout, then probably consider about trying to find an apartment somewhere else, or thinking really about researching about, the insurance, for example, like how many insurance do you have to have, or the cost of living. Especially, I heard, well, I exchanged stories with one of a friend of mine that moved because of work, and oh, but it's such a great offer. I would love to live in Munich for some time, but okay, Munich is a very expensive, so yeah, the salary really wouldn't cover it that much. But whatever, I'm just going to take it and I will see how it's going to pans out. I think stuff like that happens, and it's great when it happens, but I, as a person, would be like super nervous if I know that, okay, how much I need for a living cost is like this much, and the company that pays me is like that much, and then I have to figure out about why don't I just ask for more money, for example, just for the sake of really taking care of myself. I would go to an extra length of making sure that, you know, the transition is going as sustainable and as smooth as possible. And also, that is really including talking to somebody, a therapist, or becoming a part of a community like you two girls have. I think that was I miss. I think we talk about this in our Instagram live, that I really missed that. I just always thought that, oh my God, I was alone, and I never talked publicly about how hard it was moving to a different country. I was always like hiding behind these brave things because I don't know, for some silly reasons, that I want my husband's family to think that I'm a brave woman or something like that. Like I don't want it to be the girl that's like bitching so much about how hard it is for me to live like my princess life in Indonesia or something like that. But I never really publicly saying how hard it was. And I think us women, we tend to keep stuff for ourselves sometimes just because we nurture and, we can do everything by ourselves. And, it's, I think we need to reframe a little bit of our mindset when it comes to that and really just say that, okay, maybe for the first few months it sucks and I need help and I need support and I'm going to take care of myself that way. So just really from the preparations of moving to make sure that what you love to do, you will still be able to do it in your new country in one way or another, and including really being honest about how hard it might be. Maybe it's also easy, who knows, but if it's hard, then really just talk to somebody, talk to yeah, like a community, or a therapist, or talk to your partner, husband, wife, best friend, whatever. Just speak, woman, like don't hide it. Don't like, I'm in your country now, everything is cool. Yeah, but there's challenges to that, and we just have to own it. We just really need to appreciate a couple of shortcomings that we have, and then just being honest about it.
That's amazing. I love it. So that's so honest, and you have your own experience, and we can hear that it's coming from your heart and your authentic self. So thank you so much for sharing your story, your with honesty, your experience, and for being here with us.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so very grateful to have this opportunity to speak with you girls. It's not something that I do that often. Probably I should. I don't know. But I think if this is going to bring a lot of value for whoever listens, then I'm very happy that I served. So thank you so very much. And thank you for what you do, because I talked to my husband like today, and he said, okay, with whom are you doing this podcast? And I said, I wish I found this girl like 10 years ago. Like, seriously, seriously, because I didn't know something like this exists 10 years ago. If I had known, it's like, you are doing so much, Grace, for other women out there. Definitely, it's needed. So thank you for what you do. I really mean it.
Thank you. Thank you for supporting us.
Absolutely. Always.
Thank you, Eve, for being here with us today, and thank you for joining us on the Coffee Talkie Show, the podcast for women living abroad. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights, tips, inspiration for your journey as an expat.
If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us via website or social media. And if you love what you just heard today, please like, follow, and leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. And until next time, setting positive vibes your way.